What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling fantastic today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So Cancer, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. So, Cancer, the moon is in Taurus. And with the moon still being in Taurus, thank you. You may notice that, questions of security might be coming up for you at this time. Like if we're feeling any areas where we're not, where we notice our self-esteem is kind of low. Maybe this could be in our finances. Maybe this could be in our health, maybe there's mental health that's going on, or spirituality. Just if you notice that any areas that you're feeling that the foundation is feeling kind of rocky in, this is a great energy with the moon being in Taurus to really work on that type of stuff, Cancer, get those stuff more solidified. But this is also an energy too where you may notice that your senses are a little more heightened, Cancer, because Taurus is a sign of the senses, so something to tune into as well. And I feel like that really does help us kind of bring in more presence in our life, because when you think about it too, the moon is exalted in Taurus, so it's like after when she's not at home with us, she feels very nice and cozy with Taurus. So it says, I feel like if we can integrate those energies, you become like an intuitive powerhouse, because Moon being the high priestess, Taurus being the hierophant, divine counterparts. Look at you, Cancer, syncing up with the energies, really getting in that where was I trying to go with? Intuitive space there. But it was something more epic than that, Cancer, I promise. But another thing, though, to focus on with, or pay attention to with Taurus, just being aware of any sort of stubbornness or any kind of bullheadedness, getting fixated on any type of stuff here. And that's with any sort of fixed energy, Cancer. But also, you focus, the moon is also in a waning crescent or a balsamic moon phase. And with this energy, this is a really great energy for just kind of relaxing and recuperating, because it's a lot of energy, Cancer, when you are working on incorporating a new routine, weeding out some old stuff here. That weighs a lot of energy on us. And then you think too, while you're doing all this stuff, life is still happening, throwing you curveballs and things. So it's just take a moment, do some self-care stuff, treat yourself, and have an Empress Day. Empress Week if you can. Wouldn't that be nice? It's just just little things, whether this be cooking yourself a home cooked meal, or listening to some relaxing music, or whatever that is, maybe lighting some incense, doing some meditation, just any sort of just things that are really pleasing to the senses, Cancer, to bring that just that physical and that emotional calm as well. And then a couple of other things. These readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I gotta include this one down there, but I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. And also down in the description box, speaking of intuitive powerhouses, I got links for some other readers that I like listening to as well, so definitely go over there to give them some love, and give them a like, and share this stuff, Cancer. Let's get spread the good vibrations around here. But let's see what your general energy of the day is. I'm with it, and I love it since Venus rules over Libra too, because you got the fourth card of Libras here, which is the yoga card. All right, Cancer, we about to get from just rich meditation, because this is a card of contemplation, deep breath, centered, go within, steady, balanced, relax, take a break, inner child healing, meditate, time alone, balance chakras, reflection, wellness, and rest. And interestingly enough, Cancer, you know, the first thing that kind of popped out to me with this card is the inner child healing. And you know, when I was talking about the fixed energies earlier, sometimes it's good to, when we're doing that introspective work and things, it's noticing maybe some areas that we've noticed that maybe we've had some sort of like, maybe some familial wounds that may have been, or some like, you know, just like maybe generational habits that maybe have been ingrained in us, or maybe some things we might even learn growing up, maybe in school, or if it did some things that like threatened our security or got us feeling in a place of doubt, and you know, got us, if it's almost like if it's got us like that thing that, what are the words I'm trying to find for this, Cancer? You know, almost like those ingrained habits in us, you know, like those maybe like those like self-doubt. Oh, you know what? A great one, for example. And I feel like a lot of people can relate with this. It's like when, I feel like one ingrained thing is like when a lot of people say that they're not good at math. And I feel like that there's usually was like that one teacher or something along those lines that like did that thing that just kind of really put you off to it. And then it becomes like almost like a mantra when it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not good at math. And it's almost like we wear it like a badge. And it's just like, how did that happen? When did that kind of balance, or when did that sort of thing get out of balance? Because, you know, I remember having a conversation with someone actually. I remember a teacher had told me once where, because I was really just real passionate with my music, and my math wasn't that great. And she was just like, that's weird. Usually musicians are really good at math. And it's just like, well, yeah, I'm great at music math because that makes sense. I don't know what the hell you're teaching. But you know, it's like it gets in weird spaces like that. And this doesn't even have to be just in like the school thing. Like I was saying, maybe this could even be like maybe something like a person maybe told us in the past that we really took to heart, and it just like that thing that just sort of like really wanes on our self-esteem, Cancer. I feel like that there's something, you know, as it makes sense, you know, I feel like that there's just some deeper things, you know, this, if we notice this stuff about ourselves, it's just like, how can we get out of those ingrained cycles? Because some things can be so rooted and be so deep and hooked in us that it can be hard to get our chakras back in balance and, you know, get to this place of just like steadiness and, you know, of feeling just good again. So I do feel like this energy is saying, you know, just like if we notice, if any of that resonated with you, you know, if you can think of that thing, it's just like, what can we do to kind of break that trend, you know? Let's get some tarot on this and see how we can work with this energy. Yeah, let me get a little bit more on this before I get a little deeper. Let's see what we got here, Cancer. Interesting. Okay, so we have the Page of Cups and the Devil in reverse here, and then we have the King of Cups upright. And so some ways I feel like we can work with this energy, Cancer. I feel like that it's, like I was saying earlier, I feel like that if there's something in, because the devil deals with like, the devil can be a card of like, you know, of addictions and vices and things, but I feel like definitely low self-esteem or areas that we feel where our confidence was affected in some type of way, or something along those lines. If we've noticed that this thing has really thrown us out of balance here, or if ever we think about it, it almost feels like that the imagination is restricted or something along those lines. It's something here, I feel like it's like limiting this growth. I feel like that if we have that thing with this Page of Cups, because Page of Cups can be, you know, the pages are youthful energy as well. And so I feel like it's working on this energy, because the devil in reverse is dope. You know, it's putting in that work, but realizing that it is going to take work to achieve that balance with the King of Cups. And I feel like it's as these feelings come up for you, Cancer, as it makes sense. I feel like don't force this thing. But as these, if you know, as you're processing this, if we start getting eyes on some type of area in our lives that we have noticed have been damaged or have been, and I don't even want to say damaged, because it's not like you can't fix it. It's just like that is in need of repair. You know, Capricorn, you know, the devil, they're going to put in that work, whatever it takes, but it's going to be something where I feel like it's making that head and heart connection, you know, and I feel like that's really perfect with, like I was talking about with the moon being in Taurus, you know, combining our emotional intuition with their sensory intuition, you know, because they're very rooted in this material realm, Taurus energy. And if we can make that connection, bring those two things together and really find where the growth is kind of happening, that's how we can get to this balance of like emotional wisdom and understanding, because that's what the King of Cups is embodies. And I feel like, you know, we're getting ready to get into this place where this is going to be towards the end of the month, but you know, Mercury's going to be moving into Cancer soon. We're going to be getting into our season here, you know, that in a few days here, Cancer. Well, almost about a little under a week, but you know, this is a time to really kind of develop a closer bond with yourself. And again, to put in that work and to find if there are any areas that are wanting to grow or that we can really start to expand on. And yeah, to see where maybe we were. Let me get a little bit more on this Page of Cups, Cancer. Ooh, I like that. Hold on, Cancer, because I see we got the Sun here. We got the Two of Wands. Okay, Cancer. So we got the Sun here and we have the Two of Wands to clarify the Page of Cups here. And I actually like this too, because as I was shuffling, I was looking at that, because it's just like the pages are the first steps, you know, in the court cards, but you know, it's working to that last step, to that getting to that kingly energy. And I feel that it's with the Sun, there's something here about like shining this energy on whatever this hurt might be, or this energy that might need some healing, you know. Allow yourself to, and you know what, or like allow yourself to feel this stuff. But again, I feel like as you're going through this stuff, make sure that we are taking breaks in between the stuff, because when you do get into that type of work, you know, and really start to address those more kind of deeper kind of wounds there, that can take a lot out of you, Cancer. And it's just like, I feel like especially for us being able to feel the way that we do, it's a lot to process. So I do feel like with this Two of Wands, where we do have a choice to embark on this thing, you know, take it at your pace, and don't feel like that you have to do, that you're behind or anything like that. You know, you're exactly where you need to be on your journey. So, all right, Cancer. Yeah, interesting start there. Because even when you think about the Sun rules Leo, and Leo gets into kind of like childlike energy as well. So yeah, there's just, and you know, Cancer, we are a sign of the home. You know, we're associated with the 4th house, and we're the mothers of the zodiac. And so there's something, you know, just, yeah, check even like those bonds, you know, because this could be something too where you know, Capricorn, our opposites, they're the father of the zodiac. So there might be something even with, maybe there might be something with like a parent involved, or, you know, whatever that's looking like, where we can find that type of, find that balance. But let's see what are going to be some challenges maybe when working with these energies. And I feel like, you know, Cancer, just thinking with the time alone, absolutely. This is something where you need to be alone in this. Oh, there's Libra. But if you need to be alone in this, absolutely. Take the time that you need, because this is intense work. But yeah, let's see. I do find though, I feel like when you do start to, I know I'm gonna get these other cards in a second, but I feel like when we do start taking bringing into balance those more kind of darker energies that maybe we've been suppressed, that maybe we've been ignoring, you know, that again, that just needed some light shown on them. They can become powerful allies in the long run, Cancer. But let's see what else we got here. So we got the Justice card upright, the Justice and the and the Four of Swords upright, and then we have the King of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse here. And you know, Cancer, I do feel like that because this doesn't feel like that there's something that is, I'm not getting an energy of like this is like, how do I want to put this? I feel like some challenges are getting in this place where, because sometimes when we start to do this work and when it does start to, when the emotions really does start to cook up, this can be in a place where we kind of can withdraw really fast, or we may give up on this thing prematurely, you know what I mean? And it's going to be, because you know the Nine of Pentacles, this is working towards your pre-Empress energy, and it's getting in, you know, the Empress ruling both, you know, Taurus and Libra. You know, there's that heavy sense of getting that balance, getting in and getting into that sense of security. And you know, Libra deals with relationships as well. So if there's something where, if we find that maybe there's, because this could even be like a conversation that we may be having, you know, just thinking about with all this Libra energy coming through, because the Four of Swords, this is Jupiter in Libra. And there may be something where there might be a conversation that needs to be had so that we can start to get some peace with this, you know, and let me get a little bit more with this King of Wands here, Cancer. Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, interesting, Cancer. Yeah, you're racking up pages here, because you got the Page of Pentacles, or the Page of Wands and the Chariot, us, upright here, but then we got the Page of Pentacles in reverse here. And that's interesting, Cancer. Now you got another power. We got this page stuff lining up here. It's like, now it almost feels like the reverse. It feels like that maybe for I feel like some challenges. It's just like, it's like keeping that, momentum. It's like, because when you think about the Chariot, on other chariots, you know, usually there are two horses, or, you know, two beasts that are pulling the chariot. Usually there's one that's a white one and then a black one. And then I feel like that it's like, in order for us to get to this kingly state here, you know, to get to that light, there's that darkness that we need to pay attention to, Cancer, that we can't, I feel like it's almost like with the Page of Pentacles, it's almost like it's something that we're ignoring, you know, or something that we're thinking that maybe we won't be able to overcome this thing, or that we can't seem to, that maybe the idea of it sounds like we know that the idea of it is going to bring some healing, but it's just like when we start getting into that work, it's like the old wound kind of seeps in again, and it just gets to this place of where it's like holding you down or something along those lines, Cancer. But there's something here about just like keeping this thing at a steady pace, you know, like not trying to force this thing, you know, because I get where, because maybe there could be a lot of like, even just thinking with this heat here, you know, maybe there are some kind of like repressed anger with this or something along those lines. And it's just like, as soon as we get started, maybe the thought of this thing, I'm having troubles getting to this energy, Cancer. I feel like this is something that's really kind of like deep-seated here. And so And too, Cancer, I mean, just looking at this too, I was just thinking you got we got 3 of the 4 cardinals here as well. You know, us, Libra, and Capricorn. I feel like that is like once you've initiated this thing, Cancer, really kind of follow through with this stuff. See where this energy takes you, you know, and I feel like it may take a lunar cycle or 2 while we're processing this stuff, you know, make this growth make sense to you. But I do feel like that there's a need to kind of, when we set to a game plan, to follow through with this thing, because I feel like there's going to be some relief at the end of this, and there's going to be just like a lot of wisdom and enlightenment that can come from doing this work, Cancer. I hope that makes sense. It's yeah, very interesting energy, Cancer. But let's get some advice from Venus. Interesting. Okay, Cancer. What? All right, last little bit here. So you have the Lovers, and then you have the Moon upright here. And then let's go ahead and switch back over. Because there's something here, Cancer, I feel that... Because when you think about the Lovers, this is Gemini energy. And Gemini, they're ruled by Mercury, and they deal with early childhood learning. And... yeah, I feel like that maybe there was like a conversation or maybe there was something that was told to us in the past that has just become some sort of like, it's become this thing where we've let this belief that wherever we may be less than or something along those lines has become our reality with the Moon here, because the Moon can be a card of deception and trickery. But the thing is, after the Moon is the Sun, but it's going to be something that in order to get to that Sun, we're going to have to face whatever this darkness is. And you know, the Moon is considered the scariest card of the deck, but I feel that it's the Moon, I mean, especially for us, Cancer, the Moon is our ally. You know, the Moon really wants us to process these emotions and really feel this thing and really get this healing. But she's inviting us to embrace new opportunities, to embrace this more, or it's more so to realize that you are not, that if we've believed this long that we're in less than in any kind of way, we can also change the narrative to be where we can raise ourselves back up again and tell us, Chariot, that we can keep this thing moving, that we can grow from this, that we can get this state of abundance, and we can get to this happiness here and really start doing some like really do some exponential growth here. I was actually talking with someone too just about this, like maybe like this was like a day or 2 ago, where we were kind of talking about those kind of like ingrained patterns, and it's like how things seem to be passed on and passed on and passed on. And I feel like that this energy is like, you know, let's break this cycle, Cancer. Let's try to get to this place of where we can grow and heal from this, you know? And I feel like that this is something too, you know, really going within, communicating with your higher self and listening to that inner child in you, you know? And if there's something that's been maybe we've been keeping suppressed or something along those lines, Cancer, you know, it's a tricky space, because it's not, I'm not saying that, again, like I would never say force this thing, but that kind of stuff can be damaging over time. And it's like the longer that we put these things off, the harder it is for us to grow out of it as we're getting older, because then, you know, the memory starts getting a little foggy, and then the pieces start getting a little, you know, it gets kind of murky, you know, and then we're getting in that Moon territory. It's just like, well, what do you know what I mean? So yeah, Cancer, I really feel like that this is something very interesting energy here, but I do feel like that this is definitely definitely calls for some Empress time, for some self-care time, but some Queen of Cups energy. Be very compassionate with yourself whenever you happen to do this more kind of intense work and really kind of start to process this, these areas where we have like low self-esteem, or again, just not feeling secure in some kind of way, or just noticing that we have the same habit of that keeps just kind of perpetuating. So I think I'm going to leave that there, Cancer, but absolutely. I love this. Four of Swords, for Libra's card as well. There's a high emphasis here, just while you're doing this thing, make sure that we are, again, in a calm space, in a safe space, Cancer, and around people that, this is something where if we need to, have someone with us, maybe this is and this is not, medical advice or anything, but maybe if this is something where we may want to look for professional help, or maybe talking with a friend, or even talking with a family member, just make sure that you're that for everyone, that you are in a safe space, and that we're feeling, just feeling secure in this thing, Cancer. So very interesting energy here, but I like this because there really is some, when we do start putting in, channeling our energy towards that growth, Cancer, it really is spectacular what can come from this. But if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, and share this, Cancer, if you know maybe someone who's been, because you got a lot of, three of the 4 pages, got a couple of kings here. Yeah, because this could even be, maybe there's something with like a parent, possibly, just even thinking with that Capricorn energy. But or if you know someone, who may be having some kind of issue, or like some kind of issues that they may have been, or when wanting to resolve, or something that, could just use just some working on their, Cancer. Share this with them. And then if you haven't already, subscribe, hit that bell button, you get notified around these videos each day. And then, maybe something too, to kind of help with this contemplation and thing. I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer. I've been on there for a while. And I created a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post like positive messages, encouraging affirmations, things along those lines. And definitely as the group grows, definitely want to do where we're scheduling different meditations. Like I've been one that started off like thinking about doing like a self-care with the Empress, or maybe finding happiness with the sun, or, working on habits with the devil, whatever that is, finding balance with justice, but just some things that we're just cooking up there, Cancer. But get all your friends to come on, all these pages and kings and things, to come on over and join that, so we can get that started up there. And then lastly, Cancer, check your, Cancer, this could be, because I've learned definitely just one way to maybe even help along with this healing, get to learn about your chart, learn your different placements, your sun, moon, rising. If you want to just even learn your personal placements, your sun, moon, rising, your Mercury. I find your Mercury placement is very important. Your Venus, and we'll throw your Mars in placement there as well. But and I have some apps down in the description box that you may want to check out too to find that stuff, Cancer. And then come on over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do weekly videos there with different themes. I keep telling you, our birthday, I can't wait for our yearly birthday return reading to come up here soon. And all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here, Cancer. Interesting. So you got the 6 of Swords in reverse here. And then while I'm getting your Oracle card, the 6 of Swords, in order for us, it's moving on to calmer shores, moving on to a new horizon here. But in order for us to get to that energy, we have to find out what things are holding us back. What are some ingrained habits, or some things that are, that have been, hindering our growth. And when we do get eyes on that, Cancer, the healing from that really is something really special. Oh, I love it. And it's something too where we learn so much about ourselves when we do find the source of certain behaviors, that because maybe there's something about you that just seems out of character and not sure why we keep doing this thing or why this stuff keeps happening. But when we do get eyes on that, it can really start unraveling so much, and then that gives you so many things to focus on during these lunar cycles to repair. But then for your oracle card, you got the which card is this? This is the second card here of St. John's wort. I love I drink St. John's wort regularly. And this is the radiance card. It's ruled by the sun, and look at that, a little more sunlight with you. And just on, because if you see here, it's like this house is burning in this background here. And I kind of like that, because I feel like that this is like, it's like setting a flame to old roots, you know, and like to old, like, because, you know, Cancer, again, we are a sign of ancestry as well, being associated with the fourth house. So I feel like it really is like burning down that foundation so that we can run free again and feel radiant and feel vibrant and feel like we're healing in this energy, and just to start anew, you know what I mean, to keep it moving, to put this past stuff behind us here. And I feel like once we do get eyes on this thing, Cancer, really shine some light on this stuff, something spectacular can happen here. But I also wanted to mention too, and this again, this is not any kind of medical advice, but part of the reason why I got this deck, because I do like I do wanted to talk about some of these herbs that we work with, because I've been working with all kinds. You know, I'm a big old tea drinker, Cancer. And St. John's wort is one that I do work with pretty regularly. And St. John's wort is really good for just as, and on top of just like kind of helping the liver, you know, process the thing, remove, like work out toxins and things. It's really great for if we notice that, you know, dealing with depression and things along those lines, because, you know, when you think about St. John's wort is, I will suggest, like, if you do work with this, Cancer, I would mix it with something. And I would say two things with that. St. John's wort, if we're in any kind of pharmaceuticals, this is definitely something you want to check with your doctors with, because St. John's wort does help process things a lot faster. So that's something definitely check out with that, Cancer. But two, it is extremely bitter. When I first worked with it, I made a whole cup of it by itself. I got like a couple swigs in and I was nauseous. Like it's no joke. So I usually mix it in with like some chamomile and like some plantain. But it is nice, because when you think about the bitterness of, because life can have some bitterness, especially when we think about like child wounds, you know, like inner child healing and stuff like along those lines, that can leave a very bitter taste in our lives, you know, in our mouths. And I feel like St. John wort reminds us that, where yes, life can be a little bitter, but it's cleansing you. You know, it's working out all of those toxins when we face that bitterness, you know, and really, oh, look at you, St. John's wort. You know, when we face that bitterness and stuff, you know, there's a lot, it's so freeing, because I don't know if you touch, he's just like running in this field, you know, feeling free, running with the deer, you know, the rabbits, the flowers are growing, and you know, the sun is rising above between the mountain peaks. So it really does make you it really can help along with that type of stuff, Cancer. So just something, little extra little nugget there. But all right, I'm gonna get you out of here. So you stay safe out there. Oh yeah, because I'm getting it kind of long here. You stay safe out there. Really, with this, when we're doing this kind of work, you know, take it as it makes sense, Cancer. Don't force yourself, and if it gets too much, take a step back. Maybe do some journaling with it, however that's looking. Keep eyes on the moon, Cancer. You know, maybe meditate under this waning crescent phase. You know, just say maybe go void a course for a little while. You know, whenever this does happen to get intense, and just and just be with that, and let that healing, let that energy heal you. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.